What's that adorable sweater behind you, Barry?
Which one? There's many.
Well, there are many, but the purpley one.
The purpley one, these are all brand new samples. We're getting ready to pack up. We're going to our first trade show. And so I have been knitting my hands crazy doing things. So the last 4 pieces just got done between crocheting edges. And this is a new yarn for fall called Stride. And it's like 95% wool, and it's wool tops. So it's the wide fiber that they press down, and it's on a size 10 knitting needle. And I just played with colors. It's one colorway.
Wow,
the one stripes horizontally, and then the side is a panel with short rows.
I love it.
So it just changes the direction, and when it's on, it just floats. It's really, really beautiful.
Gorgeous.
I love the fact that the stripes only go like halfway or 2/3 of the way. It's gonna make it look a little narrower. I like that.
Right?
This would go with Karen's hair.
Yeah. Yes, it would.
Montel, the answer about Patsy is she's trying, but she's in Montana and said she had really bad
Gotcha.
reception.
Sure.
So she's not sure.
Okay, well,
Okay.
we're gonna record it, so.
Yeah, it's
Well,
being done now.
Barry-
And if she has a problem, she knows how to reach me. We've talked before. So
Right.
you can call me.
Now I have to tell you something, Barry, which is
Yes.
really funny. So we were in Germany about a month and a half ago,
Mm-hmm.
looking for yarn shops. We go in and I actually took pictures and I don't remember the name, but when I see you, I will show you.
Where were you?
Went into the yarn shop in Munich. I think it was Munich.
Yep.
Anyway,
Right behind the department store in the back of the
well,
department
we
store.
go in, the whole thing was your yarn.
Yeah, it's all
Every
Lana
single
Grossa.
thing was your yarn.
Yep. It's Lana Grossa is one of their biggest accounts, and it's an incredible location. And they also have a little bit of needlepoint and embroidery, and yeah, it's a gorgeous location.
Yeah, but all you.
Well, sadly, it has nothing to do with me, but it's all it's all Lana Grossa that we distribute. So it is nice. My ego's good. Happy when I go in there.
I love that store. I
Yeah,
love that.
Barry, I have a friend who knows you.
Uh-huh.
Arunza Holiday
Uh-huh.
from Knitting Guild.
Yep. It's nice. It's what brings us all together. Knitting. It's our link, and we love it.
Yeah, I think we should.
Okay, so we're going to jump in.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
All right. Welcome, everybody. Nice to have you all join us. All right, Barry.
Okay, so I'm going to just tell you what we're going to do. Fontel has the sweater on her side. I don't have the sweater, but I've made another swatch of it in the yarn that we're using. And I think somebody's got a phone or a speaker, so it's bouncing off, but we'll see. I'm going to go through the process. I want to make sure you understand all the different pieces. I'm going to sketch a little diagram. For me, I'm a visual person, so I reference back to a picture every time. So I'm going to switch cameras, and we're going to start working on it. You all have access to your microphones. If you have a question, stop me and ask me. All right, I'll try and answer you.
May I ask a question first? Does everybody see Barry on the large screen?
I don't.
You don't?
No.
So where have I gone wrong?
Oh,
Hold on. Okay.
Let's see, Barry, if you speak again, let's
Yeah.
see if we see you.
I'm here. Did that help?
Now.
Yeah, you're seeing my screen.
Mm-hmm.
But it switches back to you, Teresa, when you talk.
Yeah,
Right.
hold on.
I'm going to turn it off so it's on speaker view, I think is what's
I'm
happening.
trying to, yeah, I know. I just
I
can't.
can try and pin myself if that helps you.
Yep. Try it. For some
Okay.
reason, I'm not getting anything on you to do that with.
Okay, I've pinned me, so hopefully now.
Is he large to everybody? Yes.
Okay, good. All right, so the process. This is the jumbo view of what it is that we're doing. So I've had a couple people ask me about gauge, and I just want to go over that so we're all on the same page. Yes, I had you do your gauge in stockinette. Trying to do your gauge in our yarns, you're going to have to do a swatch that's this big. And to do that and then have to take it out, it's wasting a lot of time. And so from a selfish standpoint, when I started doing this, I did my gauge in stockinette, I measured it, and then I did it in pattern. And I realized what the ratio was. So I just had you do it in stockinette. As long as you've got gauge in stockinette, you will be fine in here. So don't worry about it. It's going to work. I've seen this sweater done a few times already, and it's spectacular and it fits beautifully. So what we're doing is you are starting with, you're putting on a border. And you get your border done. And then we change yarns. And it's a short row process. And I'm going to draw it for you. So you have your border in place. And it's going to tell you to work so many stitches. Turn your work to do a short row and come back. You don't come back all the way to the end. You're going to be one short of the end. The secret to this working is that when you do your short row, and I'm going to do it with you, the stitch you do as your short row counts as one stitch in the sequence. So if it says short row 10, you're going to turn short row one stitch, and that counts as stitch 1 of 10. And I know right now it's kind of like wah, 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 but when you do it, it will make sense. So it's having you work across, do a short row. You're going to work back, you're going to do another short row, and then you're going to proceed. When you go past your short row, you have to catch the legs, make it go away, and then you continue. And then the pattern repeats. You're going to go a distance, short row, come back, short row, continue, and go on. So you get 3 rows in here, 1 row here, 3 rows, 1 row. And you can see from my lines that there's 3 rows and 1 row. Then when you come back on the opposite side, you're doing a whole process that takes you back. In the end, you have 4 rows, 2 rows, 4 rows, 2 rows. And to the first picture I showed you, 1, 2, 3, 4 rows, 2 rows, 4 rows, 2 rows. That's what's giving us the visual of looking like it's boxes on its side, and you're seeing the edge, and it's having a really good contrast in color. So just again, as a visual, you're going to work your number, you're going to turn to a short row and come back. You're going to do a short row, proceed, and then move on. And then you're going to repeat the process. So that right there is one single repeat.
I did give it to her.
Okay, everyone okay so far?
You get it in your crib.
Is making sense?
Oh, did that backwards.
Is anybody not getting it?
I actually get it.
Okay. So we are going to jump. In the swatch that I had you start, I had you do the first set of rows. If you didn't print your instructions out in color, please do. Okay, it will make your life a whole lot easier. If you can't print in color, send me an email. I will print it and stick it in the mail to you. But I changed colors for each of the sizes, and it will just help you stay consistent in what you're doing. Although on mine, I didn't do the colors here. So I will fix that. So we're going to start. I stopped on my last wrong side row. Did anyone have problems doing purl 2 together or pop or SSP? Because these become markers in forcing the stitches to go in directions. So you should all be ready for a right side row. Are you okay? Did you get past this row? Did anybody not get it, or anybody having a problem with it? I'm not hearing anything, so.
I didn't even do that part. I just did the thing on the back. The 3 rows garter stitch.
And 1 purl row.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we're ready. We're there. We're going to do it together. Just didn't know if anyone moved on. All right, so we are going to start right here where it says wrong side. Okay, is everyone in the same spot? We're going to purl 1. Then you're going to purl 2 together. So, purl 1. Purl 2. Oh, my hands don't want to work today. Here we go. Purl 2 together. Then, depending on what size you're following, which set of numbers you cast on, you're either going to be purling 8 or 9. So find your number and either purl 8 or 9.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
We cast on the 49 stitches. Are we going to want to do the purl 8 or the purl 9?
If you did, I'm sorry, you said 49 stitches.
Yes.
So you're going to do the 3rd set of numbers. You're going to do the 8.
Okay. And what does pop mean?
So I'm going to tell you right now. So on your instructions down at the bottom, hold on, the picture went.
Oh, okay. I see it.
For some reason, my screen, do you see me there? There you go. Okay. At the bottom, it tells you what pop is. And all in one stitch, you're going to purl 1. Don't take the stitch off. Bring your needle to the front, yarn over the needle. So now I've got 2. Go back into the very same stitch and purl it 1 more time. So I've made 3 stitches, a purl, a yarn over, and a purl, all in the 1. And then remove it. So you've just done a pop. And then you're going to either purl 8 or 9, depending on which size you're doing. And the next instruction for me is the hardest part. So SSP, I'm sure you've done a SSK, and you're going to kind of do the same style. So leave your yarn in front, slip as if to knit, slip as if to knit. Then put the 2 stitches back onto your left needle. So you've basically twisted them and put them back. So slip 1 as if to knit, slip another as if to knit, and then put those 2 stitches back, leaving your working yarn in front. So that's where we are. Now you have to purl them together, but you're doing it from the back. So here's my back side, here's the front side. You're going to take your working needle and you're going to come into both of those stitches. So you catch the second and then catch the first. And now my needle is in front. Okay, so I'm going to do that again. I turned it over. I went into my second stitch and then into my first stitch, and I moved my needle to the front. So when you're looking at it, they should look like they're crisscrossed, but my needle is in front because I have to purl them together. So I put my yarn over my needle and I go right back through. So I came in that direction and I'm going to go back out that direction. So I've SSP'd and then there's a purl 1. Okay, so for me, I'm done because I cheated and just did a few stitches. So I would like you to continue, and you're going to start back at the beginning of the bracket. So the repeat is from bracket to bracket. Do not add 1 extra purl 1 right here. So the next thing you're going to do is purl 2 together, purl your number, do another pop, do your purl your number, SSP, and purl 1. So work the number of repeats necessary to get across the row, and I'll be waiting for you. And if you have questions, let me know, please.
Got it. Oh, I don't have any unmute.
Harriet, was it you that asked me if you cast on 49 stitches, which number you're supposed to be doing? Sorry, your speaker's off.
It should have been 9 instead of 8.
Yeah, it should have been 9 instead of 8, but don't
Yeah.
worry about it. We just
Well,
have to get across the row.
Yeah, I'm okay.
It won't matter.
Okay, well, I'm taking it out, so
Okay.
I'm good at undoing.
Yeah, 49 says to follow the small wrap, so it's the 4th number. Sorry about that.
That's
Barry, I have a question.
Please.
I can't decide if I'm going to do the sweater or the poncho.
Mhm.
I noticed on the poncho that it says it follows XL or 1X. Of the sizes listed on the front of the page,
Yeah.
which is which? So I assume 37 inches is a small.
The next one's medium, then
Uh-huh.
large,
Yeah,
then extra large, then
Okay.
1X, 2X.
okay, so, okay. That's just what I needed. Thank you.
Cool, you're welcome.
So what's your recommendation on the size wise? 1X or 2X or?
I will tell you that the one person who sent me their picture was Eileen, and
Okay.
it fit her perfectly. Absolutely perfectly. I tend to be the kind of person who says make everything oversized,
Uh-huh.
but the way this fit her body was gorgeous.
Yeah.
So
I'm doing the poncho, not the
right.
top.
So
So
on the poncho, do you tend to like things oversized and moving?
yeah, looser.
And you're
Yes.
taller, so I would do the larger one.
Like the 42, 48.
So it's
Are
177
they all separate?
stitches.
Mhm.
So it'll end up being 53, based off of a 53-inch bust.
Okay.
So it's the 5th number in your sequence.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Everyone doing okay?
Yeah, I got the pattern with the yarn, so I didn't open the attachment in email and I didn't see the homework thing, so I'm just kind of winging it.
Okay, as long as you have stitches on there, if you can get 44 or 49 stitches and just be ready for a right side row, it won't matter. The previous rows are just set up rows, but for today, it won't make a difference. I just want to make sure we're all clear on the short rows. So I want to work the short row section with you. We're going to hang tight for another minute or two, and then we're going to jump right in. So you should be ready to do a right side row. And what you're going to do is join your other color. So I don't mind knots. Okay. I know some people were taught when they learned how to knit that if you put a knot in something, you're ruining it. Honestly, I do it every time because I want to be able to use both of my hands. So I take my new yarn and I tie it around my previous yarn. And I tie a knot, tighten it, and then I slide it up. So it's secure. If in the end knots drive you crazy, you can undo them and bury your tails. Or you can leave it so it's extra secure and bury your tails. But this will allow you to use both hands. Okay, so we are going to start on row 1. It's right here in the pattern. It says it's a right side, and we've changed yarns. Is everybody, I know everyone's sound is off, but is everyone ready to continue? If anyone needs another second or two, please undo your mic and let me know. Okay, so we're gonna go. So the first thing it says is knit 1. If you need help there, we're in trouble. So we're gonna just go ahead and knit 1. Then you're going to knit your number. So again, for me, my number is the first one. So I'm going to knit 10. All right, there is punctuation in here and it's there for a reason. So there's a comma. So I've done my knit 1, got that done. I did my knit for the correct number, got it done. And it says, turn your work and work a German short row and purl to a total of your number. Okay, so I'm going to turn my work. For a German short row, it is the method that I prefer for this because it stays really neat and clean. You take the last stitch that you worked and scoot it over from your left needle to your right needle. My tail is in front. It's right where I want it. I'm going to take my tail and I'm going to pull it up and over my needle. And what that's going to do is it's creating legs. Okay, can everyone see those legs?
Mm-hmm.
Now, because I'm going to be purling back, I continue moving my yarn around the needle and come back to the front. So here's my pair of legs, and it's telling me, because I'm doing the first number, that I need a total of 10 stitches. That word total is really important. So I've already done 1, so I'm going to purl 9 more.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now it says there's a comma. It says turn and work GSR and knit. For me, I'm on again the first size, 22 stitches. So I'm going to turn my work. And now my yarn is in the back. To do a German short row, the yarn has to be in the front of your work. So move your yarn to the front, slip a stitch from left needle to right needle, take your tail, and again, pull it up and over, and you've created legs. So here's the legs from my short row. And now because I'm knitting, I'm going to leave my yarn in the back. And I'm going to work for a total of 22 stitches. But when I get right here, I have legs. So you work up until the legs from the previous row, and you knit those legs together. Do not knit them as separate stitches. There's not 2, it's a pair of legs that have to get closed. So I've done my new short row, and I'm going to knit up to the legs. And here's my legs. That's what the legs look like. So you see a pair on top and a pair at the bottom. You take your knitting needle and go in just like you would do a regular knit stitch. And you should see pair of legs on the bottom and pair of legs on the top. Wrap the yarn, come right back through, and you've now closed the legs and you have one stitch. So I did my short row, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'm going to continue to 22 stitches.
Barry,
Yes,
where it says knit 24 stitches, is that German short row? Does that count as one of the 24 or is
always.
that
It's always one of them.
just one of the 24 stitches?
Yes,
So that double stitch is part of the 24. So then I would do the German short row and then I would knit 23 because that counts as one of the 24, right?
exactly. And just don't forget that you have to pick up the pair of legs from the previous row and close them. Don't make them separate stitches.
You knit them together, right?
You knit them together.
Okay.
Okay, so when you're looking at your work, what you should see at this point are 2 V's and a third on the needle. So remember we said it's 3 rows. There's my 3 rows. And here's my single row. And we're back to this diagram. So here's my 3 rows. There's my 3 rows. Here's my single row. Here's my single row. And now I'm ready to repeat my pattern. If it helps at all, some people put stitch markers here, so you know where your repeat is. I'm not a fan of stitch markers, so I don't use them. It was about 50-50 what people like to do, okay? Completely up to you, but if it helps for stitch counts, put a marker of some kind here until you're used to doing the pattern. But at this point, you go back, you're on row 1, and you're repeating again between the sequence. So you're not repeating the knit 1, you're going to do your knit 10 or 11, you're going to turn, you're going to do your German short row, you're going to purl to a total of your number, you're going to turn and knit to your total, and you're going to repeat that going across the row.
That's 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, 10, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19.
Marianne, is it making sense? Okay. I just saw you looking off to the side. Sorry, I'm a peeper here. Your mic is off. I can't hear you. Sorry.
No, I just like to keep reading as I go.
Okay, good, good, good. I just want to make sure you're, I know you know how to do this, so you're going to be fine.
Okay, well.
Sue, are you okay? Looks like you're okay. You got it? Sorry, I'm putting you on the spot. Your mic's off, sorry.
What, that pop that you have in there,
Yeah,
the POP, that's supposed to go in the center?
it's on the pop is done on the reverse side, on the purl row when we're coming back.
That's what I thought. Okay. Okay, gotcha. I
Okay,
can
it'll
see
be part
that.
of row 2.
Okay.
Right now we're on row 1.
Okay. Oh, so we do row 1 again.
You're going to repeat row 1 all the way across for the number of repeats that you need to do to get from one end to the other.
Okay.
Susan, how you doing?
I think I got it.
I see
It's only a
three-
4-row repeat, correct?
Yep. Very cool.
2. Oh, I think I messed up. 3. 7. Take this across. Okay.
How you doing, Jane? Your mic is.
I'm doing just fine. I was in a class just before. So I'm a little late, but I'll see. I'll look
Okay.
at. the
All
video
we're
later.
doing is we're just following the pattern, starting with row 1 and 2
Oh, okay.
on the right side. If you did your swatch, you're going to start with doing this wrong side row.
Okay.
Okay, so you're going to do that first, and then you're going to get to row 1. And the secrets to this is you're going to change yarns. We're doing German short rows. Okay. And when it says, and purl to a total of either 10 or 11, creating that German short row counts as stitch 1 of your number. Okay, so my number was 10. I did my German short row, that was 1. I purled 9 more.
Oh, okay.
Okay, the total, this is your total, and it's the same on both parts. That German short row, the creation of the legs, counts as the first stitch of the number I'm asking you to do. Jill, are you okay? I'm putting everyone on the spot. Be prepared.
It's not looking good, but it's not your fault. I was up half the night, drank too much wine. It was our primary yesterday, so
Yeah. Well, hopefully
I'll
it was
get it,
wine
though.
for a good thing.
yeah, I was whining too. My stitch count is just off. I'm sorry.
It can happen. You've done short rows before, so short rows aren't new to you. And so just, it's all these little secrets that remembering that the short row counts as one of your stitches. That's where it can get crazy, is if you do your short row and then work an additional set of numbers, it will move you off. So the short row always counts as one of your sequence. Okay, that's the biggest note that I can give everybody.
Is that a trick to your patterns, Barry, or is this just this pattern?
It's just this one. I don't normally do that, but in this one, it shortened the instructions. Otherwise, you have to sit and write extra numbers. And with so many sizes, I felt that this was the easiest, and you just get used to doing it.
Hey, Barry,
Yeah,
on all right side rows, before you get to the end of any right side row, are we supposed to pick up all the short rows like knitting two together or purling together, or will we have some wraps that haven't been knitted together or
you're
purled
going to have
together?
some that get left behind. So the first one of each repeat on
Okay.
row 3. Okay, this part right here. So you did a short, you worked to here, you did a short row, you came back. You prepared a short row and you went past it. So you can only make it go away if you go past it. So this one is still sitting here.
Okay.
And then on
Yeah.
your next repeat, there's going to be one here. And on your third repeat, there'll be one down here. And your fourth repeat, there'll be one down here. So the
Okay.
first of each new segment of 3 rows, you'll have a short row that stays behind. When you do row 2, when you get to it, you're going to purl the legs closed.
So you'll purl the two together. You'll purl the
You'll
double.
pull the legs closed when you get to it on the purl side row, on the wrong side row.
Okay.
Barry, reading ahead, it says to knit until you're 16, 16 and a half, whatever.
Yeah.
Where do you actually measure that?
I always measure from the center of my work, and it stays pretty flat. You don't get too much of a scalloped edge. The visual of the angles is just, it is just a visual. So I take my tape measure and I measure from under my needle coming straight down. And I always do it in the center of my work.
Thank you.
Sure.
Hey, Barry.
Yep.
Where it says to cast on your sleeve stitches, 24 stitches for the sleeve, work new stitches into pattern. Is that hard to do or fairly easy to do?
You're going to know the pattern by heart at that point.
Okay.
You will have memorized it in your brain. You'll be able to visualize it. And you're just
Okay.
doing that knit style cast on. So you knit a stitch, pop it back on, knit the next stitch, pop it back on. So you're going to end up with extra stitches sitting here. And wherever you are in the pattern, just continue your sequence, because I'm having you cast on a multiple. It's not just a random number. So you'll be fine.
Okay.
And if not, you know how to find me.
Do you have a sample of the poncho?
I don't, but behind Fontel, we're going to put Fontel on the spot, but behind her is that sweater. And if she pulls it up, takes it off of the mannequin, she held it kind of sideways when we did our class, our visual a couple weeks ago. That'll show you what the poncho will look like. It needs to go on the angle, not sideways. There you go. So that's what the poncho will look like, depending on which direction you put it. If you want it to sit on your right shoulder or your left shoulder, there you go. There's a big picture. So that's what the poncho visually will look like.
Yeah, really cute.
So Barry,
Yeah.
so looking at the sweater, I'm not a fan of sleeves that short, but it seems to me that if I wanted to make the sleeves a little longer, I basically would cast on additional stitches to create another of the pattern.
Multiples. Exactly. So I've given you the pattern multiple based off of your size. Instead of doing it at the beginning of the next 2 rows, you can make it the next 4 or the next 6, depending on how long you want your sleeves.
Right, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah, you'll be fine. And again, Karen, you know how to reach me. So
Yeah,
if you have a question on it, just send me an email.
All right, I will do. Thank
You'll
you.
be fine.
Thanks.
All right.
For those of us who don't know how to reach you, Barry, can you put it up on your screen?
Yeah. It's going to be really, really, really complicated. All right.
Barry, you want me to type it in the chat?
I'm doing it right now. If I could spell, it would make life so much easier.
As long as you can knit, it's okay.
At the moment, I can't promise that either. All right, so it's under chat. And it's Barry at trendsetteryarns.com. And for anyone who I haven't had the privilege of emailing back and forth, I do some travel, especially now we're starting to travel again. I can promise you, you will always get an answer from me. For those of you that I've done this with before, you will always hear from me. If you don't hear from me in a day or two, or hear from somebody in my office that says, Barry's away for a couple of days, it means it may have gone to my trash bin. So try it again, or just go to trendsetteryarns.com and hit contact us. And it will go directly to somebody in my office and they'll forward it on to me. But you won't be ignored, that's for sure. Teresa, are you okay? I haven't had a chance to bug you. Okay, you're good. Okay. Christy, are you okay? You look like you're comfortable. Your mic's off. I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm good, Barry. I
Okay.
just got my stitch. I think I got confused with what was a short row one, what was a pop,
Right.
and got my stitch count messed up. So
Okay. I promise you that I know it's a lot being thrown at you in a very short period of time. I've taught the class a couple times. And what I've heard from everybody is when we're not on Zoom or you're not in a classroom and you just follow it line by line, you will be fine. It's just you hear other conversations. Luckily, everyone's got their mics off, so you don't hear people counting. But I taught it a few weeks ago and we were all together and you heard everyone counting their numbers. And one by one, everyone ended up on a different size. So you will be fine when you're only counting your own numbers.
so basically the pop is sort of a marker where the show at the end of each
Right. So what
right?
the pop is doing is everything else. This is the pop right here.
Yeah.
So when you do a purl one, yarn over, purl one, all in the same stitch, you're putting 3 in 1. It's creating the peak.
Oh.
It's giving you the extra stitch that forces it to look like it's going down. And this, the base, is where you're doing the slip, slip, purl. So if you should do a zigzag pattern, just a standard zigzag, not in short rows, they always have you do yarn over, knit 1, yarn over. That creates the peak. And then they have you do slip 3 together, purl 3 together, just 3 togethers to get the decrease. So that's what's happening on the wrong side. The pop creates the downward slant and the slip, slip, purl forces the point to come down and the stitches to head back up. They also will become basically little markers for you where the pattern repeats come in and change. If you are somebody who likes to be in control of, I'm going to switch the cameras. So if you're somebody who likes to be in control of color, where is my color going to go? You can see that in nuance, the stripes are very elongated. There's a distance between your color changes. Your front and your back will not match. If you are somebody where it has to match, it absolutely, you walk around a lot with your arm up so people see your side seam, which no one really does that. But if you have to have it match, then be in control of your yarn. Okay, look at the 2 balls or the 3 balls or however many you have, and make sure you start each piece in the same spot. Where the problem will come in is you may never get to the end of the ball. And the prettiest part of it is the whole entire color sequence. So if I can beg you to do something, it's just let the yarn happen. All right. Sometimes it's hard to do, but just let the color changes happen. So Carrie's got the sweater, and you can see that was the front. So I got through the yellows, the reds, and it started to go into the peaches and the lilacs. And then the other side, the whole color sequence went in a different direction.
Mary, did you start a new ball on the second one, or you just continued with a different ball for the second side?
I finished up with my first ball and then joined my second one. I did one from the inside to the outside. I wasn't a fan of yellow. Okay, so I'll be honest, I can be a control freak. I know that's shocking to everybody, but the yellow wasn't my favorite part of the yarn. So I did the yellow, I got it up, I got it done. And when I went to do the next ball, I used it from the opposite side. So that
So you did
if I was
start
going
a
to lose
second ball
anything,
for the
I lost
second
the yellow.
side.
Yeah,
This was the small?
it's the small. Actually, it's size 2. It's the medium.
Okay, and it took, and you started the second ball. You had left over from the first ball on the front?
Yes, I had a little bit left over. All right, is everyone good? Everyone okay? We're happy. Is anybody finished? Anyone got their front done, ready to start their back? Wishful thinking? All right. So while you're working on that, just a sneak peek, all right? I have to have 2 seconds to do a little sneak peek, but for fall winter, it's the next collection that we're going to do. And just in my design thing right now, you can't really see it, but if these mannequins weren't here, you would see about 150 boxes. I actually have to move out of my house in 2 weeks. So I have been in the mode of keeping things simple, all right? It's the KISS, keep it simple, stupid, which I'm not very good at doing. So everything that we're designing and all the things that I'm in the works with is really let the yarn do the work. So this is just a really fun diagonal. It's a brand new yarn called Cheerleader, and you can't really see it, but there's a baby sequin in it. So when the light hits it properly, there's a great sparkle. And I just divided up my colors. So it's just a wonderful little wrap. It would be a great coat.
So what is the composition of the yarn?
It's brushed alpaca,
Ooh.
wool. There's no mohair in this that I can remember. There, you can see that now. You can see the sequence. You can see the little crystal sparkle.
Yeah. A little sparkles, good.
Yep. So, I mean, as 2 fronts on a coat, it would be pretty spectacular. And then we do a back. But I just kept it simple as a nice wrap, throw it on and go. Took a couple of days to do. It's all garter stitch, except for a little bit of lace in here, a couple rows of just a yarn over. On this one, I played with what happens in the colors. So I got the piece done, and it all happened not because I was smart enough to play with color. As I got to this point, I realized I didn't pay attention to gauge or what the size was. and it was going to be a petite. And I don't usually want to do petite sweaters. So I altered the sequence of where the neck is and shaped it, and then played with picking up the stitches. And that's the side. So one side has short rows, almost like a short row skirt. And it changed the way that the color sequence is. So this is horizontal, this is vertical, and it's flared. So that when you wear it, one side has a drape. The weight of this makes the whole bottom of the sweater go on an angle. So it just sits really neat on the body. And the sleeves, just regular sleeves, knit right up.
Barry, can you turn it sideways?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun.
So that's the drape effect on one side. And as you walk, that's what it does.
Yeah, it's cute.
Mm-hmm. Like the color.
For those of you who love cashmere, and I know nobody loves cashmere.
Barry,
Yeah,
on your last piece, you really could do it on both sides and have that full swing effect too, right?
absolutely. Yeah, you could do a center panel and pick it up on both sides and do it. Absolutely.
Oh, that would be so cute. And then we've become even narrower. I
We're
just
working
saw
on
my
it.
doctor today. Had to stand on the scale.
Oh God, anything but that. So if you are a cashmere lover, most people know us by the classic cashmere. So that's our standard DK. What they've done is a thicker cashmere that they create a boucle and then they brush it. So this is called brushmere. You get about 2.5 to 3 stitches to the inch on a 10.5 or 11 needle. And there did a whole line of new colors, and these are some of the new colors. And I just played with, how do I alternate colors? How do I put little dots and dashes so it becomes a little more interesting and not so basic? But 20 rows of stockinette went pretty quickly. This is an easy slip stitch pattern. And then I went on to the next color. And I ran out of yarn and I needed to get it done. And in packing boxes, there was no going to my office. So they became short sleeves, but could easily become longer sleeves. It just became t-shirt style, but it'd be a great cardigan. And the whole entire piece, and this is about a 42 bust, took 9 skeins. It was 3 each of 3 colors because it goes really far and it has a nice gauge at 2.5 stitches to the inch. And here's the back. Make sure if you do this that you be prepared to be touched, all right? Not mentally, but physically touched, because when you wear this, everyone's gonna wanna sit and rub you, or you may be rubbing yourself. So we won't go any further in that discussion. And then last year we did a yarn called Sophio, which is also an alpaca and cashmere and wool. It's almost 50-50. And it has an elastic core. And so they've done a whole new range of colors, but they've also done another yarn that isn't made thicker. It's to look like silk hair. It's to look like a brushed mohair, but there's no mohair in it. And they matched colors. And I just wanted something that could look like evening without having to have metallic in it. So there's dart style decreases. So it has like a ruffled bottom. It sits nicely on the body. And I changed yarns, but stayed on the same size needle. So 10.5 needle, 10.5 needle. And it just opened it up and it became a little more sheer, but I didn't have to worry about gauge. And then the sleeves are all out of the lighter yarn. So the sleeves weigh absolutely nothing. And I'm stuck. Ugh. And that's the back. So the front and the back match, just except for neck shaping. But also I did the darts on the back. I've tried to not do it on the back. People ask me why to do it. This is why. When it sits on the body and the darts are front and back, the drape is all the way around. And it just makes the fabric pieces match. So some really neat colors. You can do it all in one yarn, but I love playing with the weight and the contrast in gauge. And then some of you were with us, I don't know, a couple months ago. We did a show in the store. And This is a piece that's done in garter stitch and stockinette, and there is no putting together of anything. One piece is hooked onto the next by how you pick up stitches. So there's a stockinette stitch section, you cast it on, you come up to a point. Then you pick up along the edge, cast on the balance, and reverse it. So stockinette turns into garter, turns into stockinette, turns into garter. And I used brushed mohair that changes colors, so you can see the color changes all the way along one horizontal. And then I played with a couple of solid colors. So there's a blue, there's a rust. And just, it's very colorful. It was really fun to do. So like the piece that Fontel showed you earlier out of Candyland, all in garter stitch, it's the same kind of pattern like that. It just plays. And it's so much fun to do that I didn't even have to think about it. In fact, Carrie was with me when I started it. And after about 2 weeks, I had it all done. So it was really, really fun to do.
So that one's knit starting on this end.
It started other end. It started right here. So cast on, garter stitch up to a point. Then you pick up halfway, cast on the balance, and it's a stockinette down to a point. Pick up half, cast on half, garter stitch to a point. And so you're getting layers like leaves that are layered one on top of the other or side to side. And then the solid color is worked from the opposite end back. So if you've done entrelac, you pick up stitches on the wrong side. That's what you do here, so that the right side stays the right side and they just work in the opposite direction. So where these leaves are going this direction, these leaves are going opposite. Really, really fun to do.
Barry, this piece is so much more beautiful when it's on. I mean, it's striking here, but it's one of the most elegant pieces I've seen on in a long, long time.
All right, I don't do this for everybody.
Okay, there you go.
But in person, I
Yeah.
mean, it shows really pretty here, Barry, but in person, this is just
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, it is a showstopper, and
This is another brand new yarn for fall.
yeah, it drapes beautifully on the body and you can play with it. The other thing I will say about it is I love throws and afghans. Almost every chair in here had one. This is something I would make as a throw for a bed or to sit on a chair, because all the color changes and the sequence of things, it's really, really elegant and so much fun to do that I never got bored.
How many colors does that yarn come in?
The yarn's called Indulgence, and I think it comes in 7 colors. There's more subtle, there's browns and rusts. This is sky colors, so it's grass green, chocolate brown, and blue.
But that's one color, I think. So that's one color.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But on Trendsetter yarns, if you go to the yarns, it'll say Indulgence. It's on there, and you can see it. And Fontel can get you anything you need.
It's available now.
It is available now.
The brushed mohair.
Hey,
Yep.
Barry,
Yes.
I just have a quick question. Do you mind going over row 3 of the pattern? I'm having some trouble with row 3 for some reason.
Okay.
Trying to understand what it's saying. Can you
Okay.
go
It
over
should
that?
be the same, but let me switch cameras and we can read it together. Give me 1 sec.
Okay. I don't know if I didn't read something right or.
So row 3, you've changed yarns. You go back to your original yarn.
Okay.
And now it's going to be the reverse sequence. So where this is a 4
Mm-hmm.
and this is a 2, you're going to start and you're going to go past here.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get here, you're going to come back to here, come back. So you're still going to do a short row to turn, a short row to turn, and then you're going to come back. And now that's your repeat. So where you did 3, the 4th was the return. Now you're going to have a 1 that will become 2, and you're going to have 3 here. So they alternate the previous sequence.
It says knit 24, turn and do a short row, a German short row and purl to a total of 11 stitches.
Right.
Turn and do a German short row, and I guess I knit 10 more stitches.
Right. So here's your 24.
Mm-hmm.
You do your short row, you come back 11.
Mm-hmm.
do your short row and come back here. And then you're going
Okay.
to start all over again.
And then I'll knit 24 stitches and do.
Yeah, so you're going to knit
Yeah,
24 again, come here. You're going to do a short row and come back,
Okay.
a short row and come back. So they will alternate, and that's going to be your sequence.
Okay.
So this is why some people put their markers in place, but wherever you had markers here, they're going to be in a different spot.
Okay.
All right. It's always hard to read what you're not doing because you're trying to visualize it as you're reading it. So seeing it in your mind doesn't always work, but this picture, actually this picture will be really, well, you can't see it because I changed cameras, but this picture where it's all blown up, you can almost count it to see what it is that you're doing. So that will be really, really helpful. All right, everyone good?
We are good.
Okay.
Very cool.
Yay. All right, kids, I'm gonna say thank you. I'm gonna go back to packing. Stay safe. Okay, I say that every time, but I want everyone safe. I need you all safe. Keep knitting. We'll see you when we see you. We're gonna continue to do new things. We put a new cruise up online today for, I think it's next year, for Alaska. And it's going to start in Seattle. It's with Fontel and Carrie, and then we're going to have a pre-cruise that's going to get to her store. So if you have done trips with us, you know how amazing the cruises are that they do. If you haven't, it's a great opportunity. I can tell you no one does cruises better than they do. Every detail is in place, and being able to have an opportunity to go to the store. As you all know, I own a yarn company and I don't need yarn, but I go there and I buy needles and yarn. So, you know, we all have our need, and her store is an amazing place to do it. So it would give us a chance to get together again there. And we have this year in November, we're doing Mexican Riviera, and the pre-cruise is going to be down at Trendsetter. I know that some of you have signed up to come with us. If you haven't, we have space. We've got all the details in place, and we are going to have a freaking blast. So Carrie and I go to Italy in a week, and one of our jobs while we're there is to find a yarn for a project that will only be available for the people who come to the pre-cruise. All right. So I put my yarn pimp hat on for that moment, but if you can't come on the cruise and you're in Los Angeles, please sign up. You can still come. If you feel like flying in and doing it, that's fine. We'd love for you to come on the cruise with us. It's going to be really easy, at least from Los Angeles, and we're here. It's a great opportunity to meet people and have some fun. And of course, you get to be with us. So what could be better than that?
Yeah.
But anyways, from me, I say thank you. And I love you all for being here and giving your time with us tonight.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Everybody.
Thanks,
Take care, everybody.
everyone.
We'll see you soon.
Good luck with your move.
Thank you.
Bye now. Bye-bye.
Bye.